Hey, this is John from whatifi. And in this advanced SaaS customer growth model, we're going to look at 48 different scenarios that are all calculating concurrently based on a number of different variables and drivers. As a reminder, if this is a sample scenario that you're viewing, which means you might be viewing it here in our sample scenario section, or if this is a guest mode link you're clicking online, you may see an orange banner up here reminding you that this is a sample scenario only. And while you can click through and view things, you won't be able to change values and store those to the database. If you want to do that, please create an account up here. And then also you can then duplicate this scenario to be able to manipulate it personally. Okay. Every great financial model tells a story. And in this one, we have a company that sells a software product. They have a free version and a pro version. So we're going to be looking at their base financials, how much money they have in the bank, some of their expenses that they have, government grants, their employees that they have currently. We're going to look at their customer cohorts, their free cohort and their pro cohort. We have organic website visitors, and then we're going to be looking at an ad campaign, looking at spending different amounts of money and having different conversion rates. We're going to have a conversion rate of visitors to free. We're going to have a conversion from free to paid. We'll look at three different amounts there. We're going to look at organic churn. How many people are churning out of the free cohort and how many are churning out of the paid cohort? And then we're going to run a hypothetical what if that asks, what if we raise our prices in the future by 20% or keep them the same? And as you can see from our cash flow model here of those 48 outcomes, there are some outcomes where are positive after a year's time, and there's some that are negative. So we're going to go through and understand what those are. If you're not familiar with whatifi is a node-based event system where you can connect together a series of pre-built business logic events to map out multiple what-if scenarios. Every single one of these scenarios represents a unique path through the graph in Canvas, and we calculate all of those in real time and return those values back to you. Okay? So let's dig a little bit deeper into this one. We have initial balance, $250,000, effective the 1st of December 2024. There are software expenses, there are operating expenses, and there's some government grants that we're expecting on a monthly basis of $5,000 running over a period of time. We have employees. So for example, in this particular model, and you can look at this in a couple of different ways, we can see our employees here. We have a CEO, product manager, software engineers, virtual assistants that are there. You can dig a little bit deeper in here to look at every single one of these individuals, how much they're getting paid, how many hours a week they're working, and you can turn on the salary component here to calculate real-time salaries at the same time too. In our customer cohorts, we're establishing two customer cohorts. There's our free cohort, and we already have 70 subscribers that are using our pro version as of December the 1st. Our website. On our website right now, there are 1,000 visitors finding organically our website through SEO and other types of content marketing. But we want to drive more people to our website. So we're using a campaign event. In a campaign event, you can target your website visitors. You can target an ad spend, a cost per paid visit, and deciding when you want that campaign to run for. So in this particular example, at $3,000 at $5 a cost per paid visit, there are 600 people that are being driven to our website every month. In another version of the scenarios, we can say, what if we were spending $8,000, but our cost per paid visit is higher, $7.50, and we're sending just over 1,000 people to the website every month. Then we're doing our conversion of visitors to free. Now, what's important in whatifi is a website visitor can only exist in one given month. It's not a cohort that carries over and rolls over. So every month we take a look at the number of people that have been driven to that website, and then we can use our customer transfer event to model out that scenario. So what if every month from our website visitors to our free cohort, 3% of those visitors become free? Or what if in a more aggressive version, 8% of those convert to becoming free customers? Then the next conversion is how many people every month that are now in that free cohort, which does grow over time, become paid users. So we use the same event here, but this time we are transferring from free to our subscription. So we have three different scenarios, one at 2%, one at 5%, and one at 10%. All right. In our next category, we now have some churn. We are assuming that every month some of them are churning out. Some of our free users tend to churn out. So maybe 8% of them a month just stop using the package entirely. And maybe of our pro paid versions, 1% churn out every month. Or on the higher end, we can come over here and instead we have 10% churn of our free plan and we have 5% churn of our subscription plan. And then lastly in this model, we have our pricing. Our product is $99 a month for our pro plan. And just as a reminder, our free plan is $0. And then lastly, one of our what ifs is what if we choose to raise our prices by 20%? This is called a modifier. It's a unique event that allows you in one given version of the future to override an upstream value. So we're saying that in any scenario that runs through this particular event, we want to take that pricing event that we established earlier at $99 and we want to raise our prices by 20%, but not until May of 2025. So we can choose the effect period for when a price increase kicks in. Right? And any customers that are renewing now at this new stage will get that new dollar value. This event does respect things like monthly or quarterly or annual subscription rates. So people will only get the new price when they are up for renewal. So now we can see from a cash flow point of view, we can see both our monthly and our cumulative cash flow, and we can see what our scenarios look like. On a monthly basis, we can see what our money looks like. And on a cumulative basis, we can see that we start off with our $250,000, and some of these scenarios, based on both churn rates and pricing, we do not excel past. Now, you might be trying to figure out how much of an impact does that price increase have on our profitability. You can lock in any particular event here and recalculate. So if I turn on the no increase and I lock this event, you'll see that there's a new calculation down here, so it triggers a revised calculation. And now when I come back to the model, there's only going to be 24 scenarios. I can select each of those scenarios and you can see in which scenarios the price increase is not a factor. So it certainly seems to be a byproduct more of churn than other calculations. I'm going to turn that off and bring this back on again. It's going to force us to recalculate our scenario. And now we have all 48 outcomes again. A reminder, you can look at this through different lenses. So you can come into our other ledgers here and you can drill down into anything from customer cohorts, for example, and you can choose to look at your free and your subscription customers. Reminder, you can even drill deeper down and look at the microtransactions, those that are churning out, those that are transferring in, and those that are transferring out of a given cohort at any particular stage, to be able to graph, for example, our free customers and our subscribing pro customers here. And again, you can look at that on their number counts, both monthly, free, and see what that's looking like over time. You can use that to start patterns. So what have we done here? We've built an advanced SaaS growth model where we've established our initial balance, some of our expenses, our employees, our customer cohorts and website visitors, a number of different conversions along the way, including a price increase. Things that you may want to do beyond this now is looking at whether you want to raise some more capital, potentially increase your prices, potentially look at churn to see if you can reduce churn and what those numbers are. Reminder, if you'd like to explore this scenario more, please create an account up here in the top right-hand side, duplicate this scenario, and then you can explore it in more detail.